All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings, dear believers. Uh, Please note that we are recording this session. I am Dr. Aisha Elamine, and I want to first of all welcome you to Masha Taqwa Talim. I am the Talim lead with my wonderful brothers and sisters, Dr. Gloria Bashir and Dr. Lionel Allen. Um, we are just really excited to have you all here today. If you are catching this on our YouTube channel, welcome. And those folks that are here and, virtually with us live, welcome as well. If you did not know, we do have this Talim as well as our khutbahs and other Talims available on our YouTube channel, Masjid Al Taqwa. Please do subscribe if you have not done so already. I'm going to get us right into our talk today. We are honored to welcome Jameelah Madyun, a longtime beloved member of our community who continues to be an inspiration. I was actually just talking to her right beforehand. She's a homeschooler and has her eldest daughter as a first year student in college, and we can probably talk for days on that. We probably need to do a talim on the college going experience. But today she's going to bless us with some knowledge. And the topic today is self-care and intentions, prep work for 2023, something that I know we all are, at least for me, I am like, wow, it is not going to be 2023 already. I am not quite ready for it. I have so many things that I still need to get done. And so this is a great time to get my head and intention set for the new year, because whether I am ready or not, inshallah, I will greet it.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. So, Sister Jameelah, I'm going to hand the mic over to you, and thank you for leading us to facilitating this conversation today.
Muhammad, could you please
All
do me a
right,
favor?
Assalamu alaikum. And I see some of my friends joining us from around the country. We have my good friend from New York, Sister Phyllis, from California, Monterey, Sister Zaina. I can't see if my other Zainab is here. So thank you guys for coming and supporting me. Love you much. So let me start back up by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu. Wishing all of you the peace and blessings that only Allah can give. I bear witness that there is no God other than Allah, and that Muhammad was certainly his messenger, and sending peace and blessings of Prophet Muhammad, his wives, his companions, and all of the believers since then till now. Ameen. All right, so I want to jump into it, and I'm glad you started off by saying that can't believe that this year is over, right? So we're getting ready to go into 2023, and like the rest of you, I'm also I can't believe that it is going to be 2023. However, like many of you, I myself personally, I get excited, and we have like a little party here. Sometimes we go skating with the believers, things that we can do to mark the end of this year. But for myself, internally, my internal clock resets after Ramadan. And I want you guys to join in anytime. Feel free, give a cheer, say something, clap your hands, let me know you're here. I want this to be very interactive. And in fact, I meant to give you guys a minute to, if you want to grab a little notepad or a paper and pencil, so that you can write some notes down, feel free to go and do that, because I'm going to be sharing information with you. Please check the chat screen. I've given everybody a free copy PDF of a book that's going to be coming out, inshallah, in the next 2 weeks, which is a self-care planner for women. There is going to be one for Muslims specifically, and maybe for the gentlemen, but focusing on the ladies and and on the Muslims. But you can look for that in the next 2 weeks, and I'll certainly, by the time this goes up on YouTube or shortly thereafter, I will include the link in the comments on the YouTube, and I'll send it out also with Sister Zakiya Elamine in the newsletter when the book actually releases. But for you, You can get the workbook pages in the PDF. As I was saying, for me personally, I'm realizing as I get older that my year kind of starts with Ramadan. And even in my mind, how I calculate how time is going is like, how much longer to Ramadan? Like, is it 3 more months? Is it, it's almost time for Ramadan again, isn't it? The years pass. I mean, it really it kind of centers my year. And I'm understanding that the reason for that is when I come out of Ramadan, I come out feeling renewed and refreshed. And that's when I really start my new intentions for the new year. That's when I'm like, okay, it's a new start. This year, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pray more. I'm going to fast more. I'm going to read more Quran. It's like, it's such a life-changing event that we get every year. We just get this full burst of inspiration and confidence, and our mind is clear for many of us. We turn off the TV, the phones, a lot of social media, and so our mind clears. We make that connection with Allah. They say when you come back from Hajj, you come back and you feel like a newborn. It's like you've been wiped clean. But when you come out of Ramadan, you kind of have that same effect. Am I the only one? Chime in, people. Am I the only one? Because I also feel like when I come out of Ramadan, I definitely leave each Ramadan with a new sense of a new sense of I'm going to be a better person. And in fact, some say that if you don't come out of Ramadan with that feeling, you missed your Ramadan. And this could be true for people who fast, because there's some people who don't fast, but you can still make that connection. And when you leave, you feel different. So I'm glad to see people are responding. So although I'm timing this towards the new year, I want you to think, when I leave my Ramadan, I'm so jealous, Imam Tariq. You didn't have to add that. Inshallah, we'll all get to have that experience. Ameen. But when I leave my Ramadan, so I guess Ramadan is just a small subset of how you would feel when you leave Hajj, because you feel it even more so. But when I leave my Ramadan, month 1, I'm the best Muslim you've ever met. Month 2, maybe 80% of that Muslim. 3 months 4. So now we're about 3 months away from Ramadan, and I'm feeling like I slipped, I fell, I need to get back on this treadmill, because where am I? It tapers down, down, down. So it's the blessing of Ramadan is that right when you're like, your battery level is going down, 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 then here it comes, time to recharge. So what I want us to focus on is, why aren't we sustaining that for the year? What is keeping us from getting that feeling all year? Why are we losing that momentum? Are we less faithful? No. Do we believe less? Do we love Allah less? No, but it starts to fade. And the same thing when we make our intentions for the new year. Everyone starts out, well, some people start out with a list full of resolutions, but by the time the year goes on, I'm going to exercise every day for 35 minutes. And by the end of the year, you may be down to 10 minutes. 3 days a week works. You'll say, I can exercise 3 days a week. That counts. 10 minutes, that adds up to 30. I'll exercise 2 days a week for 60 minutes. And then we go through all these negotiations. So what can we do? So it all starts with our intention. So in Islam, we know our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, actions are by intentions. What are our intentions? So the first step to taking care of yourself and to being to sustaining the movement is to be very, very clear in your intentions. I have a good friend who she's always asked me, what is your why? What is your why, Jameelah? When I say, oh, I'm getting tired, she was like, it's because you have to know what your why is. I'm trying to pull up the right uh, have to, how can I, hold on one second. So you have to know what your why is. I'm trying to get that. There we go. I think, yeah. So this is the workbook that you're all going to get. So she says, and she's on here, so she knows what I'm talking about. What is your why? So the first step to setting your goals is to know, what is your why? What is your reason for doing the things that you do? So during Ramadan, like another friend of mine, Amina, Natalie, we all agreed that during Ramadan, Amina and I were laughing, Sister Esther's daughter, saying, during Ramadan, we could fast all day and never feel the slightest bit hungry. And if you had to fast another day, the middle of July, if it's for Allah, you don't get hungry at all. But if your doctor says, I need you to come in tomorrow after fasting, you're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Oh, I can't make it. Oh my goodness, he wants me to fast. You have to fast before this test. Oh my God, that's a hard test. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Can I have a sip of water? Then we sound like all the other people who are not Muslims. You can do it. You don't even get a sip of water. He's like, you gotta can't have a sip of water. What if I just eat a little bit in the morning? A piece of fruit, nothing. Oh my goodness. But we're doing it because our why is we're doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's our reason for doing this. So if your why isn't a strong enough motivation, you're not going to follow through. So think about how we might leave Ramadan and we make all these promises to ourselves. I'm going to continue to read 5 pages a day of Quran every day. But your why changes, because the first time you're doing it, it's a sense of obligation. Then you want to feel that sense of connection. But as you move further away from that why, then the motivation goes down. So we need to connect to, what am I really trying to accomplish with my why? If I say to myself, I'm going to read 5 pages of Quran every day for the next year, what is my why? And how can that why be something that truly motivates me? It has to be something that truly, truly is important to you. I might say to myself, I want to do this because I want to get closer to Allah. Okay, but then, is that really driving you? Is that what's really driving you? So you have to really dig deep. Dig deep. Self-care, and this is our goal, is to find ways to care for ourselves. Self-care requires self-examination. What does this really mean to me? And why is it important? And because we are human, we have to see the benefit in it, the short-term benefits in it. So when we're reading Quran, it gives us long-term goals, what we think of as long-term. But when you're fasting, that becomes much shorter term, because you feel that connection that I could lose every bit of my sustenance. I could lose my life. I could lose, so all of these things, you're reading this from Quran, and it brings you closer to that ultimate goal. My life is like this. My wealth is like this. I could lose it all in a second. Because when you feel that hunger, you realize your life goes on, you feel shaky. I can't make it. This is what other people go through all the time. So when we feel that, we feel more connected and the goal seems shorter for us. The further we get away from Ramadan, we begin, I'm doing it for Jannah. But as regular human beings, without that community urging us on, say, we got to do this for Allah, it feels like a farther away goal. I hope to get to Jannah. And in our mind, we're thinking, when I'm 100, think if I get hit by that car tomorrow, I hope I get to Jannah. When we don't typically think that. So your goals need to have a view that is both long-term and short-term. So when we're fasting, we think of a long-term goal, one to get to Jenna. But you're also thinking of a short-term goal, because I got to make it to Margaret, because I'm hungry. So you have a long-term goal, and you have a short-term goal. You want to be with your community. You want to see your friends and pray. Short-term goal. And we're constantly being reinforced. So I have this long-term goal, please my Lord, earn his paradise. But I also have a short-term goal. Break this fast, make it through this day today, because when you are hungry, you're worried about today. Make it through this goal today. But then the third part of that is you have that instant reinforcement. You are reinforced. Every time you could be reinforced daily when you eat. You are reinforced when you meet with your community. If you go on Friday for Taraweeh prayer, or you go every day for Taraweeh prayer. And what also helps us is we have a group pushing us on. We're all in this together. You have accountability partners. I remember once I met a new Muslim brother, and he was so excited to be Muslim, and he came to me and he was like, sister, did you pray today? I was like, brother, don't ask me that. It's like, I just want to know, did you make your prayer today? This is a college campus. Did you make your prayer today? All the brothers, we got up and prayed. Did you pray today? I was like, don't ask a woman if they pray. Why? You should be praying every day. I was like, well, I can't pray every day. And he was like, why? This is the look I gave him. And the silence. And then he was like, oh. I was like, thank you. And do not ask any sister ever again in your life if she can pray that day. But you have that instant accountability. You fasted? People may not say, are you fasting? But they'll say, what you making for iftar? You have that accountability partner, and you have that community reinforcement holding you up. So as we think of our intentions, we need to think like fasting people. So some fasting people, I have to convince my kids if they are not fasting, or if I'm around a sister who's not fasting, or even my coworkers, and they're like, oh, I don't want to eat in front of you. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay if you eat in front of me. I'll be all right. Or if I'm not going to be all right, I go into another room. I don't want to smell that. I'm like, don't be in there making no bacon or nothing that's going to make me hungry. Don't make no cakes. I'll eat. I was like, make it closer to the iftar. You set yourself up for success. You set yourself up for success. You don't go to the restaurant. Can we have our meeting at your house instead of at a restaurant? Can we not do a lunch meeting? Can we do we meet at the library? You set yourself up for success. And to help yourself read and focus better, you turn off your TVs, you turn off your phones, you do these things to set yourself up for success. So when you are thinking of your goals and your intentions, because everything is by intentions, so the first thing you need to examine is, what is my why? The second thing you need to examine is, look at your, in terms of long-term, short-term goals, but it's got to be clear in your mind if you're going to succeed. The next thing is, look at your environment. I would not fast and work in a restaurant. What is your environment? And you have to make sure that your environment is conducive to your goals, helping you get your goals. And there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that says, you will, and I'm not a direct quote, but it basically says, you will be as your friends are. So if you have a friend who smokes, eventually you're going to smoke, or you're going to get secondhand lung cancer. But eventually you are going to be what your friends are. Our friends influence us. We are social creatures. So do I say, I won't have, if my goal is to work out, I won't have any friends who don't also work out? No, but you should have one or two. You should have somebody who's like, let's do it. I'm doing it too. Try to align yourself with those who are on that path. Maybe they are not working out, but they are determined to improve their health. So for me, improving my health means I need to work out 30 minutes a day. For you, improving your health means no more sugar. But we both have the goal. Our why is to improve our health. So we are aligning ourselves. And this also means setting accountability partners. So accountability partner can be something very, very formal. Every day we check in, you have a list, I have a list, we check ourselves. Did you check your box? I check your box. Or it could just be a matter of fact, a matter of saying at the end of the week, how'd you do? Did you do it, girl? How did you do? So the point is to align yourself on that path, but also to keep yourself to find people who support your goals. To find people who support your goals. And, in American English, we have the saying, behind every great man is a great woman. But what that's really saying is that behind every person is a great support system. And if you think you don't have a support system, maybe you're somewhere and you're like, I don't have any friends here, I don't really know anybody, find it. So if I don't have anybody who supports me in working out, then I need to join the Y. I need to go to Planet Fitness. And they have coaches or trainers. I need to put myself somewhere. If I'm working on my sugar intake, then maybe I need to start going to meetings at the hospital that they have with people who are diabetics. They have diabetic clubs and lunches and what they call it, where they fix food together or they swap recipes, or you can even find, and this is where social media does work, you can find support in your social media in these different groups. There is a group, they meet only online. They're trying to walk, I think it's over with now, 10,000 steps, because they figured out that Harriet Tubman, may Allah be pleased with her, to free the slaves, she walked a combined total of 10,000 steps, or I can't remember the number now, maybe it's 1,000,000 steps, but whatever it was, as a group, we were supposed to each walk so that we could complete the same amount of steps or miles that Harriet Tubman wrote. So it must have been 10,000 miles. I can't remember. Look it up. It's on the internet. So, but the point is that you can find a group who can support your goal. And maybe because sometimes, unfortunately, our families have different goals in mind than us, and they don't always line up. So here, specifically, what I want us to focus on is, what are we doing to take care of ourselves? That's what my book that's coming out is going to be, and that's what these pages you're getting. So these are going to be worksheets that you get that talk about this idea. That talk about this idea. Wait a minute, Aisha, I'm sorry. Do you all see this little, do you just see the Canvas screen, or do you see where it says the chat room also?
No, we see it's self-care goals sheet with the days
Okay.
of the week.
So you don't see the little box I have up with the chat?
No.
Okay, good, because that's blocking my screen. Okay, I just don't want to block anyone else. So the first page is talking about your goals. And like I said, it's examining the why. So you could download this, you could print it. Oh, I should have made it in grayscale so you don't have to use your color. So when you print it, if you don't know how, just if you don't want to use your color, just set your computer to grayscale and you could print it. In the book, it will be in color, but and then you'll be able to write in it. But go ahead and write in it, or just take a look at the page and write your little notes on a separate sheet of paper. This is just something for you to follow along. And so these are your goals. And what you want to do is examine why. What is my why? And as we talked about before, what does self-care, I can tell you how important it is to take care of yourself. It will improve your relationship with your Lord. It will improve your relationship with your health. It will improve your relationship with those people you care about. But if you don't have one of those, something that's important to you, then examining this is not going to help you. You have to see the reason. And I want you to really think about why it's the reason. I thank you, Sister Aisha. She put it up there for you again. And then what motivates you? So all this has to do with the why, your why. And then I want you to, you can have the choice if you like, what keeps me grounded? This is more self-reflection. And how included is your self-care assessment. How do I feel? What's my overall well-being? Do I get enough sleep? That's my problem. Do I get enough sleep? You need to have a healthy sleep a healthy sleep schedule to have great health. Sleep affects every aspect of our health. And you know, in Islam, we lose a lot of sleep. When we pray, we get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was thinking, how can it be that sleep is so important, but we do so many things to disrupt our sleep? But the healthy sleep is not necessarily what they're discovering now, the number of hours that you sleep, but how well you slept during those times. And it's highly recommended that you take a nap, which was, of course, the tradition of the Prophet. If you are able to take a nap, we know with our Western work schedules, we're often not able to take a nap. But I also know that we spend a lot of time. I was listening to this one imam, and he said, are you having trouble getting up for Fajr? Let's talk about this. And then he said, number one, turn the TV off. It's like, very smart. Life-changing. It's like, turn off the TV, turn off your phone, your computer, go to sleep. And we do, we even though we're not watching it, sometimes we'll have these electronic things around us. And it makes us, even with the blue light blocker, which I'm sure we're all aware of, it stimulates your brain to in such a way that we don't get good, healthy sleep. Even if it's not for 12 hours, those 2-3 hours of sleep are not as restful as they should be, because our brains are so overstimulated in that time before we go to sleep. So it may be incorporating reading a book in a soft light, or something that soothes you. I used to do a crossword puzzle before I went to sleep, and I realized that it gets my brain going. So that's not helping me. So something quiet. Yeah, I'm a huge promoter of naps too, Brother Ibab, but I cannot, I'm so hard for me to take a nap. But I'm learning, because sometimes I work late into the night, and I'm learning to say, no, this is important. A set time for sleep, a certain time. So to teach your body, this is the time of rest. And then we have our goals. What do you want financially? What do you want to do to improve your physical health? And you may not have every goal that every other person has, but I'm sure that we all would like to be a little bit more financially successful, or have a little bit better health. But also consider, what can you do to improve your mental health, your emotional health? And what is your legacy? What do you want it to be? So a lot of people are a big fan of vision boarding. And I am too. I do my vision board. This is another way for you to do a vision board. You could cut out a little, you could write something in, or you could cut out a little picture and glue it on your paper or your book when you get it. But Equally as effective is just to have in your mind, what is my goal? What is my goal? All of this is, what is my goal in every aspect of your life? Physical, mental, spiritual. And what are some things you want to try? So these are just to get you thinking. Then we have our limiting beliefs. Now, this is where we get stuck. So if you have something that you want to do, you should sit down and plan it out. However, we need to seriously anticipate that there are going to be some problems along the way and try to address those. You know, one of the wonderful things about the Quran is, Allah says over and over, is that this is a warner. This is a warning. And one of the great warnings that he has is that his, like, Shaitan is going to come at you from the front, from the back, from the side, and every which way you turn. This is the warning. And so we have Shaitan, who's of course going to be there. And if you're trying to improve yourself, there's going to be Shaitan trying to not let you. And then also internally from our nafs, there's going to be some part of us that holds on to old ideas, old beliefs, negative self-talk. We are a collection of all the talk we have gotten over our lives. And unfortunately, we cling to the negative things we've heard more than the positive things. This is what they say is human nature. We hear 100 good things, one bad thing. You're so beautiful, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful. I don't like your shoes. And then that's all we see is the shoes. Everybody else was like, you're so beautiful. All we see, everybody, and then after that, everybody was like, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful. In your mind, you're thinking, well, what about my shoes? Did he see my shoes? Did she see my shoes? This is human nature. We hold on to the negative. So we have to realize within ourselves that we have this tendency and that it's coming from us. Now we're looking at every pair of shoes. That shoe is not good enough. Once we've heard it. So as soon as you hear it, you need to banish that from your mind. And you need to be clear on what is it that you're hearing in your mind that you need to clear out. That you need to clear out. So like for me, I want to do this more, but then I'm like, but I'm so tired. I'm always tired. So it's not enough to sit there and say, I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm always tired. So it has to become, okay, how is your, do a health screening. Is there a physical reason you're so tired? No. Okay, how are the vitamin levels? We know we need certain amount of vitamins. Okay, how is that looking? How is we need to have a regular schedule, sunlight, nighttime. We need to have, our bodies are cued in to certain environmental cues. And for us up north, when we're here, we're only getting, right now, we're less than 12 hours of sunlight. So, and of those 12 hours, 8 of them we spend indoors automatically. It's a given at our job. 8 hours or more are already indoors. So what are we doing that we can alleviate that? They have these lights, wonderful lights now you can buy that mimic the sunlight. They have these other activities. You know, we could go outside and get in the sunlight. We could walk around to the park. Oh, it's so cold. Okay, stand in front of a window. We can reset that schedule. But what else can I do? I need to identify what are the things that limit me. And then I need to make a conscious choice with intention on changing that. This is my thing. Do what you can. Start where you are. Start where you are. use what you have and do what you can. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And we can do something. But it starts with the mindset. It starts with the mindset. So we have to clarify our intentions, identify these goals, identify when we have these negative self-talks, and then find ways around whatever obstacles we have built in our mind. So, and then we have our action plan. So here you go. You got all this stuff you want to do. Make a plan. We start with the intention. We're going to put Allah in it. Ask Allah to help us with it. Starting everything with the name of Allah. But we're going to make a plan. So when we say inshallah, we have the intention. We ask Allah to help us. We do our part. So we have the intention. We ask Allah to help us. Then we do our part. 3 parts. Do your part. So when we make the joke, when somebody says inshallah, then we look at it like, really? Because what we really want to know is, are you going to do your part? You got the intention. You ask Allah for help. Are you going to do your part? This is the third one that we've been giving a lot of people the side eye on, like, are you going to do your part? Because we still have to do our part. Otherwise, inshallah would be just a magical word. It would be a magical. I'm going to earn $1 million, inshallah. And poof, there it would be. It doesn't work like that. You have to do your part. You want to make $1 million? Come up with a plan. There's no difference from you and somebody else who's earned $1 million. Come up with your plan for achieving it. You've made the intention. You've asked Allah for the help. Do your part. So no matter how big your goals are, no matter how big your goal is, it goes down back to that saying, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. So you take this big goal, you chunk it up into action steps, and you break off those steps 1 at a time. So when you do it, so you can do this for each goal, or you could just have 1 goal, and then recognize when you have the milestones, like I did this part, and celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself when you do it. Be grateful for your practice, for your progress. So we have our financial goals. We need to not only set a budget, we need to track our spending. We need to know where our money is going. It's just like when you have a diet, the most effective thing you can do is you can write down everything you eat. Because when you write down everything you eat, you will eat better. Absolutely. I've done it. Sure, many of you have done it as well. When you track what you eat better. And the same thing with your money. When you track where your money goes, you will spend it wiser. So set a budget every month, and you can put in the budget. I used to have a budget every month, and I was like, why am I never in this budget? But something would happen. It's a baby shower. This is when I was working. We're having a baby shower on Friday. I'm like, oh man, I got to get the gift. Oh, somebody's birthday. Oh, it's a wedding. And it would always throw me. So then I finally was like, I need to work that into my budget. $100 a month. This is for all these birthdays, because when you work in a big company, and all these birthdays and baby showers and stuff, I'm like, okay, look, if 1 person got it, then they got $100. But if 10 people got it, y'all get $10 each, because this is my budget. Whatever the budget is, but you need to track where is that extra money going? As soon as I realized that my extra money was going to all these things, because I never even counted, because it just seemed a given. You know, they come around with the car and say, can you put $10 in her birthday car? Sure. And you're not tracking it. But once you start tracking it, it becomes very obvious. So I want us to do better with our finances. And then, of course, you have the monthly planner. And what is just as valuable as money? More so, your time. So just like you're tracking your money, track your time. Where am I spending my time? So for myself, and my friends are making fun of me because for myself, I work online. And I realized I wasn't getting much done. But when I track my time, it didn't seem like that much. But I spent a lot of time on Yahoo, looking at the news. And my daughter is like, who's looking at Yahoo? I was like, apparently me. I'm spending too much time there. I'm spending too much time on Facebook. I'm like, oh, I just went in for a second. But when I really track my time, I'm like, oh my God, I was on there for 35 minutes. And it adds up. If you do it 4 or 5 times during the day, that's 3 hours. So watch your time. It is a black hole. And it's funny because when I went to Vegas, if you walk through the casinos, there's no clocks there by design because they don't want you to know how much time you've been in this casino. So you will never walk into a casino and see a clock. So I'm on my way to my hotel. My hotel is through the casino. And I'm like, is it time for checkout? Yeah, exactly. And no windows. Is it time for checkout? I don't know. What time is it? No clocks anywhere. And Facebook follows the same mode. There's a reason why there's no little ticker over in the corner. It's none. And all of these social media, they got all this access, no timer. They don't want you to know how much time you spend in there. And they design the content. Here's the psychology of the content being 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Because if you watch a little Facebook Reels and it just says 2 minutes, you're like, okay, I got 2 minutes. But before you know it, you have watched 10 of them. Did you have 20 minutes or did you have 2 minutes? So for me, I got this app that literally now locks my computer. So I have blocked Facebook, TikTok, all these things. So Google, I have blocked Google on my computer. Because I'm the type of person, I'm like, oh, Irene Cara passed. Oh, what movie? What was all her movies? She was married. Who was her husband? Did she have children? And before I know it, I now can write you a autobiography of Irene Cara because I spent the whole day looking up her intimate. By the way, she was only 16 when she did Sparkle. That's crazy. I use Cold Turkey app, but there are a lot of them. There are a lot of them. And I use Cold Turkey because I started using it for my writing. If you use it just for writing, it literally, you see a black screen and nothing. You set the time. I'm going to write for the next 30 minutes. It's nothing but a black screen. But they have other apps. One that now I'm using it for social media because, yeah, I got problems. So the next thing I want you to do, and this is in it, is that I have 6 30-day self-care challenges. So with the 30-day self-care challenges, you are going to try to hit all 30 of these. And they are very simple, easy, although I see number 12 is organize your closet. That might be all day. But you could break it down into small steps. Do one thing, and this has to do with intention. If you pick organize your closet, so you can do, I don't want to organize my closet because it's about taking care of you. But you think, I like practice gratitude. I'll maybe do that 2 days and never do organize my closet. That's fine. It's about taking care of yourself. We all know when we get on the plane and they say, put the mask on yourself and then put it on your child. The reason is you can't save anybody else if you don't save yourself first. Period. You can't save anybody else until you save yourself first. So you have to be important to you. You have to be important to you. Note to self. Note to self. You have to be important to you. So some of these are easy. Drink more water, but it has to do with the intention. Am I organizing my closet because it's on there? Or am I organizing my closet because I realize that disorganization in the back of my mind is driving me crazy and I'm just not as happy? I would be happier if I could just reach in and find everything and it looks so pretty and organized and neat. So got 30 days of these. And you could I got 6 months, 6 of these. So you could do one every other month. Now, why isn't it one every single month? Because, and this is another scheduler to help you organize your day. I'll come back to that. So here's another one. It's 6 different ones of these. And these are going to repeat a little bit. But what I want you to look at is, I also want you for 30 days to do 30 days of gratitude. So you can mix this up however you like, or I think it would be nice, is that you have, oh, and look, I have one specially for men. Y'all got one page. Otherwise, do what the rest of us do. It's fine. Where is that page? Oh, here we go. 30 days of gratitude. So you go pick 1 month. And for that 1 month, every day, you're going to write one small thing to be grateful for. Small thing. I had a bad dream last night that something happened to my house. And it was so real. And when I woke up, I was like, I thank Allah for my house. It is still standing. It's something just that simple. I thank Allah for my house because it is still standing. Alhamdulillah. And it can be, today I found socks with no holes. Anything. But for 30 days, you're going to make a conscious intention to be grateful for one small thing and say alhamdulillah. If you can find more, great. Then I want you to pick 1 month where you do 30 days of your own self-care, where you make up the thing that you want to do. So you could say on day 1, I trimmed my nails, or I gave myself a manicure, or day 2, I gave myself a facial. Day 3, I bought a new book. Day 4, I slept late. Do something special for yourself, no matter how small. I want you to try it every day for a month. Every day for a month. So I put in here a place where you could put down your workout schedule. And my sister is like, why is it quarterly? It could be yearly, it could be monthly, you could duplicate it, it could be weekly. But I figured, like, if you're taking a class at a gym, they usually run like from January to April, 2 months or whatever. So we don't do the same thing every week, but intentional is what we're going for here. You can also, I'm going to fix this page. It's not going to look like this in the book. But anyway, plan, am I drinking enough water? Healthy snack. If you know that you work outside, so you catch the train to work, and every single day you're eating out because food gets cold and you don't want to take your lunch, then find a way to deliver for yourself a nice hot lunch from home. I just saw this thing, a portable crock pot. The world, and it's a little bitty lunchbox size, but it's a crock pot. And inside you could take your lunch, you could plug it in, warm it up right there on your desk. It's about this big, but it's just like your personal warmer. I don't know why you wouldn't use a microwave, but okay. They have all kinds of things now. And here are some tips for your good mental health. Talk to someone you trust. Do activities you enjoy. Tell yourself everything will be fine. That goes back to the self-talk. Just tell yourself everything will be fine. Yes, we are winding down. So all of these are in. I just wanted you, and then here's a 5-day challenge. So this one is shorter. It's just 5 days. Write down what you love. Cook yourself a nice meal. So it's all kinds of, keeping a journal. Okay, specific tips. Listen to NPR argument article, and he said 3 things that they have found. Do these 3 things first thing in the morning. Take your phone out the room. Turn it off. Don't look at the phone first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, be grateful for 1 thing. So of course, as Muslims, that just goes right along with it. You wake up and you say, alhamdulillah. But find 1 specific thing to be grateful for first thing in the morning. Second thing in the morning, think of 1 thing you're going to let go. Today, I'm going to let go of, and you fill in the blank. Third thing, find 1 thing you're going to focus on. Today, I'm going to focus on blank. 3 things. They said, if you do these 3 things, they did a study, 3 things. First thing in the morning, you improve your productivity for the day by over 50%. These 3 things I'm grateful for, I release or I let go of, I will focus on. These 3 things. The next thing, another tip for you. Instead of doing a vision board, someone suggested this to me and I tried it. I did not follow through. I'm going to try it again. But make a little flashcard of something that you want to focus. Keep the flashcards by the side of your bed. Before you start your day, go over your flashcard. It's just like a little mantra. So on my flashcard, I have things I'm thankful for. I color coordinate them. Little du'as I want to say. And then other was my goals or inspirations. I can't remember now. But like, for example, this card says, I thank Allah for being healthy and strong. Am I healthy and strong? I don't know. But I thank Allah for being healthy and strong because I'm going to manifest that. I want to ask Allah for that. So I'm asking him by already being grateful because I know when I ask him, he is going to deliver. I am down to my last 5 minutes. I honestly did not think I had that much to say. But I do want people to join in. So I am going to zip it, listen, and if you have a question or just if you want to comment, I'm going to let us wrap up with that.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Phyllis, and this was absolutely beautiful. It couldn't come at a better time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'm just so glad to be here.
Thank you, Phyllis. Wa alaikum assalam. And I'm going to call you when we're done, inshallah. And my sister is here. I know she got something to say. Denise signed in and didn't say anything. Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to add or ask? Or well, I know if we don't, then
I have another. I have a question.
Ahead. Sure.
So once you send this out, of course we're going to work on it. I would love to hear you say that you're going to have a part 2 to this. So we'll be accountable.
Well, I have to be invited.
She's always invited.
I'll say that.
Yes, she's always invited. I think that's a really good idea. And having those accountability partners, like you said, I mean, there's so much great information that you shared here. So yes, I think we should definitely plan to revisit it. And thank you for the planner that you've offered the believers. I really appreciate this.
You're very welcome. Everyone, you guys are very welcome. I'm praying everyone has a successful and wonderful year in 2023. Although, as I said, I kind of count my year by the Ramadan. But I pray that everybody has just a wonderful year. Much success.
Well, thank you so much.
Whatever your goals are.
Thank you for a beautiful presentation. May Allah continue to bless you with your endeavors. It was very, very, very enjoyable.
Thank you. And the same to you, Emmy.
Alhamdulillah. Well, thank you. As you can see, there's comments in the chat. I think this was truly beneficial to the entire community. We need resets. We need to set our intentions, and we certainly need self-care. So on behalf of the entire Talim committee, we thank you for sharing your wisdom with us, sharing your resources with us, And we look forward to part 2, the accountability.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa
Assalamu
alaikum
alaikum,
assalam.
everyone.